Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and guess what we're going to talk about today, because it's right there on the screen. We're going to talk about Samurai. So we are looking at the new release from the Dragon Trappers Lodge, the start of their new army. Previously we had the Children of the Flame, which was their dragon slash dragonborn slash kobold slash basically anything with scales, kind of steampunk, diesel punk, World War I-ish, 2-ish fantasy army that also had rules via one-page rules. And now we're moving on to a new themed army, a samurai army, the Chosen of the Kami, if I remember correctly. And I could be wrong, but that is a totally different story. Anyways, so what we've got in front of us are the initial release, of which there's going to be a bunch, I'm sure, and I'm going to be here for all of them, so you can pretty much guarantee that we'll see multitude more of Samurai from Dragon Trappers Lodge in the near future, along with whatever other fun things they release. But having done many videos and painted many figures to be used for a multitude of Samurai-themed games, of which I rarely get to play anymore, it seems, I absolutely wanted to take a good closer look at these guys. So one of the nice things is all of the troops come in a variety of weapon choices. We've got the Naginata, we've got the Yari, we've got the Noodachi, and we've got the traditional katanas as well. Really like this guy dashing forward here. Initially, I was a little worried because I remember some of the early renders had the sword's hilt actually still in the scabbard, but I am pleased to see that that is not the case with the actual release. Now, despite my printer's best efforts to sabotage everything in the process of trying to get these guys printed, it was not a fun task. We still managed to get quite a few prints off. So I want to say there were at least 5 poses, basic poses, for each weapon type. We don't have anything in the way of ranged units yet, but, I mean, let's be honest, they're coming at some point or another, so there's something to look forward to for everybody. But yeah, for a good basic starting block, I mean, they're nice, solid models. Since this guy's actually glued to a base, we're going to use him. No, you know what? I'll just grab this dark gray one, because he's handy. And you can see the details a little bit more clearly. So the armor does have a lot of embellishments, but it's not too overdone. Most of the guys are wearing face masks, or just generally grimacing and yelling. But personally, I like when they have the masks because it makes them a lot more faceless, unidentifiable, and easy to replace if you're using them for encounters or whatever. And you can see he's got both of his swords, thankfully, in the scabbards there. Size-wise, because that's something that is always of a concern to me, if you're one of those people that has multitudes of samurai, multitudes keeps popping out of my mouth today, I don't know why. Well, let's see how they stack up. Now, these are the bases that Dragon Trappers Lodge includes with all of their figures. This has always been a bit of a stickler for me, and I know I've argued with others about this. It kind of goes both ways, because while their bases do have those, designated keyed spots for the figures, it's only really going to fit that one figure that you print it for. And I was kind of bummed out. All of the bases for this set have the little lantern lights in the same exact spot, which was a bit of a swing and a miss there, at least for me. But I'm hoping, you know what, it's not like I'm on any shortage of bases, and if we can get this in focus there, a quick little clip of that peg is easily going to remedy any kind of basing situations you may have. This is a totally different guy. This is the spear guy. Okay. So yeah, you can see here with the old plastic Wargames Factory / Warlord guys for Test of Honor. Significantly taller, but the base as well is pretty much... I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference in the size of the base. Grab one of these little tiddlywink bases here. I mean, it gets him more on par, but yeah, the Chosen of the Kami here is going to be a good deal bigger. But then again, this guy is just like some peasant Ashigaru guy, and he should be intimidated and in awe of the stature of his samurai opponent there. Grabbing some metal figures. You know what metal is? Remember when models used to be made out of metal? I feel old saying that in 2024, or whenever you're watching this video. We've got a figure that never ceases to infuriate me. This is one of Privateer Press's Legend of the Five Rings figures, of which they made just a few limited edition ones for their mini crate line and then promptly stopped, and I have nagged them saying, you know, I know they're supposed to be exclusive, but since they were all 3D, you know, designs, STL file type things that they printed up, why not do some print on demands? Why not change up the weapons? Give him a fan, give him an alternate head. You got a new figure, I'll buy another. There were some really cool figures in the series that I missed too, and it's really annoying. So, I mean, our friend, let's get one that's more... Ah, here we go. I actually printed up the Command Squad. I thought the Command Squad, if you're going to print any of them, I thought the Command Squad were really cool. For your standard, you've got the guy with the, what's it, the Sashimono, ready to draw his sword. I could already hear people complaining about the fact that his swords are on the wrong side. You can reverse it yourself. It's not a big deal. I mean, these guys are very fantasy samurai, so I'm not going to worry about historical accuracy. The musician I thought was a really fun model. Smashing the taiko. Smash that taiko, or like button, or whatever it is kids say these days. And then I was really kind of disappointed with the champion, and this is more on me. He's got the very dynamic, I'm going to cut your head off with my big giant sword, but then when you look at it from, oh yeah, that was bad. Again, that was on me. I had a real issue with these swords in general. Like I said, my printer was not being very cooperative. Here we have a guy finishing his strike. Everything looks nice from that angle, and then you see just how thin the sword is. Yeah, that did not print right. But like I said, that's my printer. That's not on Dragon Trapper's Lodge. That was a bit of a disappointment, though. So we were grabbing other metal figures to get a good idea. They are going to be bigger, but then again, back in the day, that was okay. A old school Legends of the Five Rings sculpt. A bit more modern figures. One of the limited releases from the original edition of Test of Honor from Warlord when they released it before, oh, what is it? I can't think of something gray. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it. I'm sure as soon as I finish I'll remember. But again, still a little bit smaller. Grabbing a Bushido model. Now I know this clan tends to be a bit on the bulkier side, but again, you can still see there's some pretty big size issues there. If you're not a stickler for that, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. When you start getting into the realm of 3D printing, though, that's when things really get fun, I think. Grabbing some other members of the Dragon Trapper's Lodge that are vaguely the same size. So he's not too overtly bulky. Random Children of the Flame there. He's got a thick base, though. Looking at the size of his base, the samurai dudes here have some pretty thick ones. Grabbing one of the models from the Trapper's Lodge. I loved this model, and I just broke it naturally as soon as I was going to film this video. It's a cigar-chomping steampunk shark. It is a shark wearing steampunk arms. Well, he's got abs and a very humanoid body, but then the best part about this guy, besides the fact that he is chomping that cigar like it's going out of style, are his puppers here. He has hammerhead sharks stuck in a steampunk rig. It's just a shark. It's literally the shark wearing a steampunk suit. That is awesome. Should have had one with like a bone in his mouth or something. Actually, he has a couple of them. We've got a running one as well. Maybe he's chasing after something. Totally unrelated to the samurai stuff. One of the other things besides... Oh, I was comparing let's talk about this because I keep getting myself distracted. We had the the Celestial, which was the big leader dude with his drum set on his back. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as I started to print this, I snapped off his twin katanas. That was really, really annoying. And I don't know where the blade went, so I'm going to have to replace that now. He is just about the same size. He is a little bit more fancy. Not overtly so. It's got a cool little bonsai base there to stand on. It's going to give him a little bit more size and presence on the tabletop. They also have mounted versions of them. So if you want... Again, these guys, the Celestials, had all of the options available to them as well. Spears, naginata, swords of various sorts. So they have options for Koma Inu, which actually are quite nice. Or if you want to go the more traditional Kirin route, that is an option as well. Of which they have regular full-on cavalry. Sadly, no horses yet, so if you're looking for a more mundane style army, that might be an issue. But, you know, it's nice just to have more options for 3D printed samurai. I mean, I've got quite a few. Grab some of the Kyoshineko guys here. And I mean, he's big, but he's not like overtly big. And if you don't want, if you do want non-human models, that's always easily arranged. Or from various fantasy IPs that hunt monsters. That's a really large figure, though. I think they pair pretty well with the Raging Hero offerings. I feel like I'm like talking about wines. Yes, they pair quite well. But actually, no, they really do. You could see just in terms of the thickness of the bases, I think they're going to work really well in that regard. We've had the bad guys from Dragon Trap, or no, Raging Heroes, but when I had them leading some of the legions of Chaos Tainted Dragonborn, might be something fun. Who knows, maybe we'll get some evil undead samurai at one point as well. But honestly, just from this initial offering, we've got a lot of the basic mainstays you're going to need. You've got all your weapon options, except for the range stuff, so far. You've got hero models with a bunch of options. You've got multiple cavalry options. So it's a nice start to another army. And hopefully we are going to see some painted versions of these guys in the near future. So always stick around. We always put those videos up on Mondays. And speaking of always, we'll have the link down below so you can check out this stuff for yourself. And with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.